before going ahead with the session, so can he share the small introduction of about his journey?
Okay, so first of all, a COVID namaste to everyone. In these trying times, all of us, I think we are staying at home and doing our bit in whatever way possible. My name is Manoj Kabre. I'm an engineering turned management postgraduate passionate person, I would say, who has been into industry for over 31 years now. And I have been working with various companies as a part of my career. In addition to doing our professional assignments, I have always taken interest in doing something beyond our comfort zones. And that is something which has been keeping me always driven. One of the journey is Do Game that you see in my virtual screen. That is called Do Good and Achieve More. This is a small philosophy which we started about 6 months back. It was my brainchild, assisted by some veteran Rotarians like Manikantan, Ananta Bhatt, and a few other well-wishers like Ajit Kaikini, along with whom we have been able to take this journey forward in terms of structuring this simple activity of doing good and trying to inspire others. I have been a Rotarian for the last little over 5 years now, and this year I am the president of the Rotary Club of Whitefield Central. That is the region where I stay. We have roughly about 140 3190, and that constitutes of little over 5,600 Rotarians, all of us who are people of action and who believe in doing service over self. So that's the brief introduction about my profession and my additional activities. In addition, I would also like to share with you my family. My parents stay in Nasik. I mean, they are the ones because of whom I am available in this world. And I stay with my wife and 2 children here in Bangalore. My wife is an interior designer, also very passionate and compassionate person in terms of giving. And both my children, they equally enjoy this act, and they have been engaged in their own professions. My daughter works for a company called IKEA after completing her interior design from MIT ID Pune. And my son is in the 3rd year of Triple IT Hyderabad, doing computer science graduation followed by post-graduation. It's a 5-year course.
So I just came to know that you are a Rotarian and you are the current existing position holder of the club. So that's beautiful, and a small family, all are working, and they are helping you. Whole family is into this approach of helping or doing good to others or helping others. That's beautiful to know. So I would like to ask you one thing. When we say doing good or joy of giving or helping others, what is the basic essence of having this philosophy?
See, it's a simple math, Vivek. Just imagine if everyone insists on receiving.
Right.
Can't hear to Mr. Manoj. Hi, Vivek ji.
Yes, Rajiv. We are not able to hear Mr. Manoj, right?
Yeah. I think he reconnected now.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, please. We were talking about the simple mathematics of helping or doing good to the society.
Yeah. So I'm just saying that just imagine a simple math that if everybody is just insisting on receiving without giving, who would each person receive from, right? But contradictorily, just imagine if everybody chooses to give, then everybody receives, right? So it's a win-win
Right.
situation. So this is a very, very simple philosophy. Just try to recall our earlier days when we were children, little children, if anybody gives us something, maybe it could be a small chocolate or it could be a small toy or anything, even a blessing for that matter, right? All of us, we used to really feel gratified. I mean, I still remember in 1983, after my 10th standard results, my parents gifted me a small banjo. I don't know if you know what is a banjo, but banjo used to be a very small instrument, string instrument, with those buttons. So you just kind of put a little small pad on the strings, and on the other side you have these buttons. This is almost about 37 years back, but the memory is so vivid that I am instantly able to recite that to you, right? So if you give, that is the kind of joy that others get. And just because somebody else is getting that joy, you feel gratified, you further enhance that particular joy in yourself, and that is something which makes you feel good. So this is a simple logic according to me.
Right. Right. Yeah. I think you are right. I can remember as a child, as well as when I see my kids. They are just going in a birthday party, and when they are getting a small return gift. So the birthday party is not about the wishes and all, but that is more with respect to the when about the return gift. And
Exactly.
so those who are participating and for the this is how I have seen. So you are right. It is too close to the person with whom we are interacting, and it makes a lot of ability to make a lot of impact and long impact, even what I can
Yeah,
say.
yeah, yeah.
Right. So so currently we heard a lot about this in under this COVID-19 situation. We are listening, and we have seen also that there are so many people doing a lot of activities around them, or they are doing whatever they can do in their best in their capacity. So how this activity of doing good under this difficult situation is making impact in the society, because I am sure you must have seen the impact as of now, or have done a lot of things also.
Yeah, I think these are troubled times, and these are the times when you try to recall what Swami Vivekananda said. He said, "They only live who live for others. The rest are more dead than alive." Such a simple phrase, but it means so much, and it is so very apt today. I mean, there are people who are running through tough times. There are people who are getting affected because of COVID. There are a few of them who are getting admitted to the hospital. And of course, maybe 2 or 3% of them also unable to survive. And these are times, especially when migrants are really struggling to even get their 2-day meal. We all should remember that we humans are social animals, right? So it should not be a surprise for us that we are all wired to one another. You give a smile to another person and he smiles back to you. It's a very, very simple gesture, right? Do you lose
Hmm.
anything by smiling? Nothing. So in a similar way, in these tough times, in these COVID times, if you are able to offer even a very smallest help of even connecting somebody to another person who in turn is able to help him in some way, or if you are able to even give some portion of food that you have or some portion of time that you have to anybody, I think it goes a long way in giving solace to this particular person who is currently affected by COVID. Because listening to all the news from media, I think each one of us are horrified, right? There is seldom any complete information that is available with us. If I ask you, do you know anything about the root cause of COVID? You will say, yeah, I know a little, but I'm not too sure. I'm not sure. I mean, to be frank with you, Vivek, I'm not really sure what is the root cause of COVID, how it comes, how it spreads. I mean, there are certain set of actions which have been designated by various authorities, by government and other things in terms of what we should do to prevent its, flow from one person to another. But if you really ask me, I won't be able to list down to you with complete confirmation that, okay, these are the 1, 2, 3 things because of which COVID happens. And if you keep yourself away from these 3 things, there is absolutely full guarantee you will never have COVID. I know of a 90-year-old man who stayed entire 4 months in house without going outside, without interacting with anybody. Still he got COVID. How did he get COVID? And the only thing, probably after a lot of research, that he and his family members were able to correlate, that there was a magazine which came during these 90 or 100 days. Probably there might be some way that through that magazine, the COVID came inside. Balance everything else they were taking care in terms of getting essentials, in terms of getting their daily needs, everything that was being sanitized. And there was absolutely no way that the COVID virus would have taken entry into his surroundings. But just because of this one magazine, probably COVID would have come. This is the only guess that they have, right? So entry of COVID into our lives is just uncertain. It's not known. At best, we can protect ourselves and probably keep ourselves away. But the other thing that we all could do is at least provide a helping hand to somebody who is currently affected. If a small question I ask you, Vivek, today, Vivek, what can I do to help you? Will it bring a smile on your face?
Of course, of course.
It will, right? So just imagine in a day during the 24 hours that we have, if we are able to ask this question to only 3 people, just 3 people, what can I do for you today? That's all. I mean, believe me, it gratifies. I mean, the person on the other side will say nothing, believe me. 90% of the times he says, oh, no, I don't need anything. Thank you very much. I'm happy, but thanks for asking, right? But try doing this. It will send a kind of signal inside your brain, which will energize you, which will really give you so much of satisfaction. I mean, while you are asking me, I'm so gratified that even you have taken an opportunity or a thought to interview me today on this forum. That itself is such a great act of good that you are doing, Vivek. You are a part of Do Game. You have joined this bandwagon. You have joined this philosophy. And I'm sure all the people who are listening to us, they have also some way or the other got connected to this Do Game philosophy. And I think when we do good, I'm sure all of you would agree that in some way, probably it creates that kind of, dopamine effect or serotonin or all these, words, oxytocin, or all these kind of words which we keep hearing. So that kind of happiness trifecta, as I may call it, that goes through your neurons, through your brain, and that makes you happy.
So that was my next question, that how this philosophy or this approach help us or anyone who is doing this to make him happy or satisfied. So what does it, how this scientifically it works, or you have shared the mathematics also. So I was thinking about what should be the science behind this when we are doing good to the society or asking some questions like this, what can I do for you? And at the end of the day, when I look back or reflect, how does it makes me, how does it is going to make me happy or satisfied that I had a great day, or no, I did that, so I'm happy.
Yeah, I think that's pretty wonderful that you're asking this particular question. And I have always been wondering, what really does happen. So I took some interest long time back and tried to peep into some scientific journals or did some research and found that our brain is very complex, Vivek. Our brain is very complex, and it is made up of lot of neurochemical drivers, if I may say so, right? A car is driven by somebody. A two-wheeler is driven by somebody. So every engine needs a driver. In a similar way, our brain has all these neurochemical drivers. And the 3, like I was telling a little while ago, happiness trifecta, as I call them, the three drivers or the three members of this driving team who are responsible for helping us enhance this particular feeling is, one is called dopamine, another is called serotonin, and the third one is called oxytocin. So these are those trifecta which enables us to produce neurochemicals, to energize our neurons and help them make us a little boost, bring some boost in our mind. And the higher the levels of oxytocin, the more you want to help others, right? So try helping others, and this oxytocin will kind of take a boost, and then it will kind of give you a signal that, okay, go ahead and help others. And thereby the serotonin and dopamine also will improve. So this is the way what you are trying to do. You are trying to help yourself. Why do you want to do? I mean, for instance, we Rotarians, we call ourselves people of action, and we say that we do service over self. Why do we say so? Service over self is something where you try to help others. But friends, believe me, when you are helping others, you are actually helping yourself. How are you helping yourself? Because by helping others, you are increasing the movement of these neurons in your brain, and this is feeding fuel to your oxytocin. And that is helping you to remain joyful, to remain happy. So you are basically helping yourself. What is the other way for you to get oxytocin? There is no other way. I cannot take any tablet to get oxytocin, or I cannot energize my dopamine, or I cannot energize my serotonin by doing something else. This is the simplest act which does not cost you money. It just costs you time.
Right. I think that's a beautiful, way of sharing and then helping us to understand. Because I always wonder that why I should go ahead and do help. Of course, I love it. I find it maybe I was not aware about that, what is happening inside me, and now I am very clear that whatever we are doing, we do because we like it. We like it because there is something happening inside us. It may be on the emotional level, it may be on the feeling level, it may be the thought level. So you rightly said, actually we are helping ourselves rather than we think that we are helping someone else or doing good for others. Actually, we are doing good for ourselves. So that's a beautiful concept. And I think those who are listening or watching us, they will also agree with this thought. Great.
Not only that, Vivek, oxytocin flows. I don't know if you have read this as well, but I'm sure many of us, we have read or we know about it, that when oxytocin flows inside our body, the blood pressure reduces. The bonding increases. The social fears are diminished, So we may have some social fears, they will come down because you're trying to help somebody and thereby gain oxytocin for yourself. So just imagine, if I want to reduce my social fear, what do I need to do? I need to do something or the other, right? I mean, I can go to a psychiatrist, I can go to a doctor and then, take some medicines, or probably go through some other complex phenomena so as to reduce this social fear. But I can tell you, Vivek, this is the simplest, I would say, methodology, that you go and help out others, and that will enable you to reduce your social fear. Oxytocin is also anti-inflammatory. It can reduce your pain. It can enhance your wound healing. And just imagine, if you are able to help others, and if that is going to help you heal your wound faster, what could be a better choice than this, right? So giving basically allows us to secrete all these chemicals. All these chemicals are available. All these can be secreted at once, and they will enable us to further give as often as possible.
I think you rightly said, when it comes to the social structure. So the we know that we human beings are a social animal. We always listening this since childhood. And why that so? Because of to overcome the fear, to to support each other so that people can seek or can give or take support from each other. And this healing pain in case of injury and all that, or some other issues, one can support and can overcome those challenges. And now that we know socially it happens, but when you are connecting it with this scientific way, I think that's a beautifully connected, bridged together. And now people, or at least I am clear what we do, why we do, and why we do and what we do. So this is how this helps in that way, I think. Good. So
something about COVID times. I think there was one more good point that just crossed my mind, which I thought I should share with you. Can I also add something to the COVID thing that you asked me?
Yes.
Yeah. So during COVID times, you would have seen, I mean, most of us, we are trying to do a lot of yoga, a lot of exercise, trying to take care of our muscles, trying to see how we can help enhance our fitness. But I'm not sure if you know that there are also similar brain muscles or brain cells.
Mm-hmm.
And the easiest way to make them fitter or to make them stronger is the act of giving. Just try to give something to anybody. It could be time, it could be money, it could be help. Anyway, just try to do some do game, try to do some do good, and that will enhance your fitness or of the brains. So when we spend money for doing yoga, when we spend money for joining a gym or a fitness routine, why are we not, or why are we shying away from doing good? Because that is going to take care of our brain, of the brain cells. So the easiest way to keep our brain cells fitter is to do
good. So what I listen to you is, if we are doing good, if we are helping, we are sharing, caring, loving around us, definitely we are able to take care of our body, mind, soul, heart. So it's a package deal. Just do good around you and take care of your whole system.
Exactly.
Beautiful.
Exactly.
Beautiful.
Exactly.
I love this. I love this concept. Okay. So there is a common common question around it when we say we have to help others. So yes, helping can be done in any form. But if we really want to make a 1 second, Pooja, please keep it on mute. Thanks. So when it comes to helping others or doing good to the society, so what is the best way? Is it always in the form of monetary, or it can be in any kind? And if it can be in the kind or intangibly. So what is the best way? Is there any norms or philosophy around it, or just whatever you can do, can do?
See, I think you should fill every day with small acts of giving.
Mm-hmm.
I think all of us who are sitting here or who are participating in this excellent initiative of yours, Vivek, all of us, we are already doing good. I would say all of us, we are already do gaming at this moment of time. I mean, just imagine what is the need. I was just wondering, what is the need for Vivek to, I don't know, we have never met. We don't have any formal introduction. We have just spoken a few times, through Do Game, we got connected to each other and something came into your mind that, okay, let me talk, let me chat with Manoj, and then, have a little Zoom call, probably few of others also can attend. And all of us, we will have just a conversation. I think this is a very simple and noble act of giving, which you're doing, Vivek. All the people who are joining us now here in this particular session, all of them, I think they're lending their ear. They are doing good. They are devoting this time for something beyond themselves. So this is a simple act of giving, according to me. little while earlier I mentioned about smile. I mean, this is a simple cheat each one of us can do all day long. The other day we had a happiness coach, speaker talk by one lady by the name Poonam Madan. She talks about happiness. Okay, so break free stress or something of that kind is a concept. She gave a simple philosophy which triggered my mind. That's something which I was not doing usually always, but then now after she referred that to me, I've started doing it every day. Every day morning once I get up, I mean, you do a little prayer or something of that kind for a minute or two. Along with that, I smile. So there's nobody in front of me, but still I smile, right? And believe me, that is a simple act which keeps me happy all day long. And if you are happy, then only you can spread happiness to others, right? So just a simple act of giving smile to others probably will at least help that other person who's receiving smile to one, give it back to you, and to forget his or her worries. So that is the power of smile. So forget monetary, forget time. Don't even look at all those things. Just smile. That itself can be a noble act of giving, according to me, to start. If somebody wants to just get into this do game school, if I may say so, I'm fond of calling this a do game school. So if you want to get into do game school, start it with a smile. And then go beyond that in terms of doing smaller acts of giving, like ask somebody, what may I do for you? Or what can I do for you? And then if by chance somebody says that, okay, this is something I need a help, try to offer that help. Be selfless. No need to think about that I am going to give, so it will reduce for me. No, not at all. In fact, many of the people, they feel that I have limited time. I have only 24 hours. If I give 1 hour out of that 24 hours, probably my available time will reduce, but 25.
Right. My next question was really quite related to this only. And you have answered also, but even then I will ask for more clarity and if we can have more conversation around that. Sometime I have seen people say, if I don't have anything, or if I don't have something, how I can share with anyone else? Is it the right understanding? Or because when I heard you just starting with, you also mentioned somewhere in your sharing that if you are smiling in the morning, and then you are happy or happy throughout the day, and you are giving back to the others. So somewhere it looks like if you have something, you can definitely share. If you don't have something, it is difficult for you to share with others.
See, actually, like we all read in Gita, क्या लेकर तू आया जग में, क्या लेकर तू जाएगा. Right? This is a very simple philosophy that when we all came into this world, we came empty-handed, right? And when we go out of this world, also we are going to go empty-handed. So all these pleasures, whether it is materialistic pleasure, whether it is emotional pleasure, all this is going to remain here during the time that we are here. So why kind of get so much of love or get so much of attachment to these things, which are just materialistic pleasures, right? I mean, you asked a wonderful question saying that if I myself do not have sufficient, how can I give, right? Now, who will define this sufficient for you? I think it's for your own self to define. I don't think I am telling that whatever you have is insufficient, right? It is you yourself who is deciding that whatever you have is less or is more. So is there a concept by which we can say that whatever I have decided that at least some portion of it I want to give. Say, for instance, my salary goes down because of COVID, right? Every industry, every organization is going through tough times. There are various organizations who are reducing the salaries of people, and there are people who are unable to pay their employees or something of that kind. So it's very obvious, as you rightly said, that somebody says that, okay, my salary has reduced. I have got 20% reduction in my salary. How do you think I can continue to give? My simple philosophy is, okay, your salary has reduced, so the amount that you can give is reduced, right? Has your salary become zero? No.
Hmm.
So if your salary has not become zero, why can't you continue to give the same percentage or same portion of earlier thing? That is with respect to money. We talk about time.
Hmm.
You still have the same 24 hours which was available before COVID. Post
Right.
COVID also, or during COVID also, you have the same 24 hours. If you are able to manage to give, say, 1 hour per week or 2 hours per week to somebody, for somebody outside your family, outside your near or dear ones, or maybe for some strangers, how about continuing to do that 2 hours good in a week? Is it possible that you can continue to do that? Yes, it is certainly possible.
Right.
The only thing which probably might come on the way is your mindset, you know, is
Hmm.
your intellect. Somewhere you will feel that I am very much worried, I am very much depressed, and so I cannot give. But believe me, Vivek, a simplest philosophy is continue that 2 hours that you were doing earlier, and you will realize that all your agony, all your despair, all your dejection will automatically go away. So you were basically looking for a solution for your dejection or your despair. But then continuing that philosophy of 2 hours weekly doing good for somebody probably will help you also reduce your dejection or your despair. So without
Right.
aiming for reducing that, you have reduced that as a byproduct.
Right. Uh, that's really help. I think helping me also, as well as uh, must be helpful for others also, because many times what happens, and this is rightly said, that uh, this we are the only one who will decide what we have, whether it's sufficient for us or not, whether it is I have something or I don't have anything with me, even though I can do whatever I want to do. It's all thought. It is happening everything in my mind or in the thoughts. And if we know that yes, irrespective of the situation, irrespective of the time, irrespective of the money, if I will do whatever I can do in that situation or scenario, I think that's the good way of keep continuing the good work or helping others or supporting people around. Great. So coming to my next question. So they are different. I'm just asking it because there are different philosophies around it, uh, uh,
Mhm.
based on the region, based on the culture, based on the geographies, based on the religions, based on the practices. So, considering all those different theories or philosophies or practices, what is something common person or someone who is not well versed with all these things. So, what is that one thing one can do to keep this momentum on? I feel it. This is something. If we have 100 crores people in the country, for example, or 100 and a half, 150 crores, if everyone, irrespective of the level, irrespective of the income, irrespective of the culture, religion, everyone is doing something. So, what is that one formula you will suggest that yes, this everyone without thinking can do any moment? Yeah, one is the smiling you have shared already, or whatever I have sufficient with whether it's sufficient or not sufficient, I can choose and I can do something. But there must be something which is done easily by anyone, anytime, irrespective of from where this person is.
Yeah, I think I'll try to give an example. First of all, uh, the one thing that all of us we should be thankful or we should express gratitude towards is first God, that He has given us this life, our
Hmm.
parents who brought us into this world, and of course our family and near and dear ones. So one simple act that I have been following, and thanks to some of my well-wishers and my guru, I call them one Mr. Ajit Kaikani, one Mr. Ajay, and Mr. Manikantan. There are a few of these people who have really had a very big impact on my life in terms of getting me the right right path or guiding me. So on that front, just try to write a gratitude journal of yourself, end of the day.
Hmm.
Before you sleep, just try to write 10 things that you are thankful about before you sleep. So that itself probably will give you a good impetus as to how you could move forward in your life. Next day you try and recall what good you have done or what way you have expressed gratitude, and that itself will keep you going. A small example that I followed a few years back, and this I've been following probably for more than 10 years now, that you have a lot of newspapers, that you read in your house. What do you do with the old newspapers that you have? You try to sell it to a kabadi wala, right? And
Hmm.
then probably that money which comes, either you give it to your children or donate it or something of that kind. One small act that somebody impressed upon me to do is try to donate these newspapers to an NGO, who in turn is able to collect all of them and sell it, right? And then they get money out of that, which probably helps them. Now you are basically taking a little pain when you take these newspapers to that particular NGO and hand it over to them, right? Believe me, this little pain that you take for yourself, or this act of good that you do, remains in your mind for a long time. I probably have been doing this for the last 10 odd years now, and have been encouraging others also to do this. This is a very, very
Hmm.
simple and probably very, very, I would say, you could ignore that kind of fact, that kind of thing, that just donate those newspapers to an NGO, who in turn will get benefited. It may fetch them about 80 rupees or 100 rupees or something of that kind. But believe me, even that is so useful, right? So this is a very simple act of good, right? You when you go to your office, you are if you can open the door for somebody, I have seen many times that there's a peon who's going in office, both his hands are full, right? He's carrying loads of things, and he reaches the door, and at that moment of time, he's for a split second he thinks that if somebody could open the door for me, it will be nice. You are just next door, but then many times you feel, hey, mujhe kyun karna hai? He's a peon. Why should I open that door for him? You just do that act
Right.
of good. Do that small door opening for him, and look at the smile on his face. He will feel as though you are God sent. Vivek, these are simple acts, very, very simple acts that will hardly come into your mind. But start doing these kind of acts, and they will then entice you. They will then empower you to do larger goods. And if you still
Correct.
have difficulty in understanding what good you should do, the easiest thing you could do is join us. Join this do game group. We have a group called Coaching for Do Game, where we coach people how they could do good for us. So there are various
Right.
people who keep citing. I'm sure you have seen a lot of posts on that group. You are a part of that group, Vivek. And people post what good they have done, and that gives you an idea. Okay, somebody has done something good by doing this way, let me also do. Believe me, each one of us, we
Right.
have a passion in our mind, right? There is something inside you which keeps you going, and that is something which could be a hobby, or there's something for which you will get up in the night and do that particular activity. Somebody is
Right.
liking to play guitar, probably he wants to teach guitar to somebody, right? You are good with
Hmm.
numbers, you could teach mathematics to somebody. You are good with English. One small act I've been doing is I've been sending 2 words to learn to a group of people every day. I just go to the dictionary, find out 2 new words, and post in that particular group, and then ask them to
Hmm.
make sentences. Children, little children. And that is benefiting, because these children who read those words and make a sentence out of that, they feel happy about it, and they post that sentence and then get a confirmation saying that yes, this sentence was good. How much time does it take? Hardly about 1 minute, 2 minutes. So keep that. I mean, I can cite examples after examples. We can talk for hours about this, but there are little such things of act which can help somebody or bring smile on somebody's face. That itself, I think, is a do game that you could be doing.
Agree. And these examples are really that exactly I mean to. I was asking you because the common misunderstanding around it is, until unless I am doing something good, big, I will not say it as the joy of giving. I can say
Not at
so,
all, not
but
at all.
yes,
It can be
this
as
is not
small
at
as
all.
whatever I cited these
It
examples.
can,
Yeah.
yeah. And the beautiful part of it is, I see it not some act, I see not as an act, or not a big activity. it is more like a lifestyle you adopt, or you have started practicing in a very small, with a small gesture, which can be a smile or a small act of just going and donating your this scrap papers or the newspapers, or just opening a gate. Yes, so these are something you can do day in day out without thinking much around it, and you can
Yeah,
practice it.
absolutely.
So one good thing which I have seen these days is in the universities and the colleges, and this question is coming for our youngsters, uh, where they have put even in the schools also, they start doing volunteer activities, and there are assignments, projects which students engage, and they got the certificate. How do you see this? How do you see this kind of practice is helping us in the long run, or you have some other idea to make it more impactful uh, for from the future point of view?
Yeah, I think this is something which is wonderful. You have brought a wonderful point here, Vivek. I think each one of us are surrounded by a lot of youngsters, maybe within our family, outside our family, in the community that we live. I think we all should ask a question to ourselves: can I be a role model for them? In what way can I inspire them? If we do that,
Hmm.
probably that would go a long way in sowing those small seeds of benevolence, sowing those small seeds of this selfless giving into them, and that in turn will have an greater impact in the life. I mean, encourage such children, such groups of children. We have in our Rotary format two such formats called interactors and rotractors. So interactors are the ones who are in the age group of 12 to 18 years, and rotractors are the one which are in 18 to 30 years age group. So we encourage such people to form a small consortium, to form a small structured group, whether it is in the community, whether it is in their institution, or whichever way, such that they get a little structured methodology, or they get a little structured system of how they could have larger impact. I think you asked a very wonderful question where you talked about the impact, right? Each one of us, we feel that if I do something, can I enhance the impact, can I increase the impact? So doing
Right.
something good with a little structured philosophy, I think, can enable to enhance the impact. And then once you see that impact happening to a larger amount of people, to a larger beneficiaries, I think that is something which energizes you more, because then you feel that yes, I have done something which has been able to impact a large number of people, a larger group of society.
Right. Right. Yes. This is very beautifully uh, expressed, shared, and able to connect with the need of the time, because I strongly feel that we are shaping future like each moment. And
Absolutely.
when I see the youngsters, when I met students, college going students, and when they talk about this, so the somewhere, yes, I'm not saying this is commonly seen, but most of them, I think, wrongly communicated the essence of what they are doing and why they are doing. Because
Mhm.
so so many of them are more interested in just doing the activity, getting the certificates, because at the end of the day, that is going to help them a good job, but by showing the credits or by showing that they were engaged in some one or other activity. So that would keep bothering me. So that's why this question was somewhere in the subconscious
Yeah,
or
but I think
unconscious.
we should encourage. You have a wonderful point there. I don't know if you remember, even earlier days. I don't know if it's still valid, but when my children were younger, they used to get some assignment from their teachers, from their school, from a company, from an organization called Give India. Okay, so the
Hmm.
Give India, they used to give them a small certificate or a small card, and then they say that, okay, go around in your community and collect money, and then bring it to us, and then show this card to them saying that Give India has given, right? So you are right. They may be doing without any intent of the larger good that we all are talking about. They are doing it only with respect to getting that certificate. Doesn't matter. Still permit them to do that. Still encourage them to do that. because this particular small thing 10 years later, 20 years later is going to impact them when they come into the professional life. That yes, in my younger days, I did that Give India campaign. This was the main reason why the school asked me to do. And then they are able to connect the dots. Then they are able to understand that yes, why I was asked to do good, because I'm going to do an act of benevolence. Sorry.
Right. So it means, and you rightly said, because in my one of the session in Vipassana, the essence of some activity was like you need not to pay any money to them, and when you go, and so the explanation was what I'm sharing is the one explanation for one act that was just when you are going for a food, so you are going you have not paid anything for the that engagement, so now you are going with a plate and you are getting all the good meal items of what you would prefer to have in your plate for lunch or dinner, and how that is impacting to a person. The explanation was like this: when you know that you have not paid it and you are seeking food like this, so somewhere it is impacting your subconscious that you are getting best meal without paying a single penny. Someone else must have paid for it. So if you will pay for someone else, paid for it today or tomorrow, someone else will get it like this. So this is a cyclic process, and this is impacting your subconscious and helping you to go into that direction slowly and slowly, not in a one instance or two instances.
Absolutely.
So beautifully said. Beautifully said. Okay. So before going to the last session, last question to you, I would request or ask questions our participants if they have any question. If they want to ask any question, they can go ahead one by one. They can open their microphone and ask a question to Manoj directly.
Hi, Vivek and Manoj, thank you so much for such beautiful program, for such nice sharing. Yeah, so I don't have any question, but just reconnect the takeaways of today's program. See what I learned from here, that first thing which I can realize very well, that doing good or joy of giving is really we are doing for others, which come back to us directly or indirectly. As you told that due to this neurochemical and the positive neurons which produced by doing some good things, definitely it's true, and anyone can experience and feel, and that motivates to do the others. If someone is just want to do by himself or herself itself, then also by that way he can be inspired and come into the practice to do good further. That the one very beautiful phenomena which I can understand and can encourage to others as well. The second thing that Mr. Vivek emphasized, that to promote this chain, there are the different ways. Why taking some certificates or appreciations, someone is showing their interest, we should always welcome that, and we should encourage this thing. Yeah. So thanks for your nice sharing.
No problem. One thing I would like to highlight here, Rajiv ji. This doing good also follows one simple principle in Hindi. If you understand, Aaj nagad kal udhar. So you do good today, and it gives you that release of oxytocin instantly. It is not even kept credit that okay, it will come after some number of days of credit or something like that. In the sales cycle, if you understand that you normally pay cash for multiple transactions, so this oxytocin release happens instantly. you try doing good for somebody today, it is not that you will get the oxytocin release tomorrow. It may happen instantly, then and there in your body.
Right. All right. You need not to wait. As soon as you will do something good, you will get the returns instantly. So if you need an instant result or instant returns, invest in doing good to
Sure,
the
sure,
around you.
that action has the immediate reaction positively.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Rajiv. So any question from Shrikant, Nikhil, Pooja?
Okay. Hello.
Yes, Pooja, please.
Yeah. First of all, the session was really very informative and good. Thanks for this such a wonderful webinar. And my question is, like, if we are surrounded, right, by the people means who are continuously like negative, means talk negative, right, all the time, and like, all the time is in restlessness, right? So at that time, how can we be positive or good to them at that time? Means we get to know, right, our energy is losing in them. So how can we, that positive energy comes up, right, at that time?
Okay. Okay. Beautiful question. Manoj, I'm just adding one point here. So see, the beauty of this having a different having participants in the group and different thought process. If there will be, there can be another question around it. I have negative people around me. How to deal those negative people? But I think Pooja is coming more from the perspective of how she can do good to those who are negative in thoughts or spreading negative energy, so that she can have them positive.
Sure. So first of all, thanks very much, Pooja, for that question. It's a brilliant question, and I'm sure each one of us, we are surrounded by this question every single day. I would only say the answer to this question is the power of one. I mean, just look at our own Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi. We have been seeing him for probably more than a decade now, doing that particular job, what he's doing. And look at the amount of negativity that he has around him. He has the same 24 hours that you and me have, but the impact that he's able to make by utilizing those 24 hours creatively and innovatively, I think he is able to really make a lot of difference, create a lot of difference into our lives. So look up to some inspiration when you are surrounded by negative people. Look at Mother Teresa, for instance. So much of negativity was around her. But all of us, we can see, we have read about her, that she has still, within those negatives itself, tried to do some positive. Believe me, there is a huge amount of power in that one. One single person can create so much of remarkable difference in the lives of others. You yourself consider fortunate that, yes, I am that power. I am that one particular person who can create a difference amongst all these negatives. You just try to be positive. I know it's tough, but just try to be that positive. Doesn't matter. I mean, I started this do game philosophy or do game work on 26 January 2020 with just me and one more person, two of us. Today, we are more than 300 under this umbrella. It was just power of one. I just started connecting with people, telling them, I have just made a small write-up about what it is. And I keep sending them to few people whom I feel connected or whom I feel that, okay, they might want to come here. I keep sending to strangers. I would have sent that to Vivek probably through some platform. I don't know. I don't even remember that. All these 300 people, I don't even remember. I don't know them by face or something of that kind. But that has helped me to at least create a small movement amongst ourselves in a small way, in a selfless way. And today we are sitting in this webinar talking to each other about that subject, right? Do you think I don't have negative people around me? There are a lot of negative people around me, but it is my choice whether I want to look at those negative people and get driven into negativity, or I want to continue to be in positivity and see if by chance that rubs over them. A simple difference between two R's, if you want to remember this, there is a way you can react to something which happens around you. Alternatively, there is a way by which you can respond. So instead of reaction, if you try to respond, you will see that this negativity will never affect you. It will only convert into positivity, not just for yourself, but for also people around you. I hope I've answered your question, Pooja.
Sir, I got the answer. Yes, sir. It was good. Yeah, means the way, right, how we react or respond. It's more important.
Yeah, instead of reacting, you just respond, because there is a different, subtle difference between reacting and responding. So just choose to respond rather than to react.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Thanks. Thanks, Pooja.
Hello.
Yes, Nikhil.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah. Good afternoon, sir. As you just said, means we should be responding to the negative people. Yes, sir. Means I too believe in that, and I have faith also. But sir, means sometimes I don't have that correct way to do that. So, what are your tactics or your methodology to, what we can say, handle or tackle these people?
See, when I say respond, thanks, Nikhil, for that question. When you say respond, that doesn't mean that you have to respond to the negative people, right? The difference between reaction and responding is that when you react, you necessarily get flown into that negativity.
Yeah.
Right? For instance, somebody is slapping me, I am slapping him back. This is reaction, right? What is response? Response may be different. I mean, like somebody said, right? I don't know, it was Gandhiji or somebody who said that if somebody slaps you, you put the other cheek in front of that person. This is response. Now, in today's world, probably you might say, Nikhil, that no, this is not today's world. This is not valid in today's world. You try to do this, you will get brutal. You will get completely extinct because of all these things. But try to understand the metaphor. What I am saying here is the way you respond will bring a little bit of positivity in it. It will bring a positive element in it. The moment you try to react, it would necessarily travel on the negative path. So there is a very subtle difference. I'm repeating that again for you. But if you, and it will come intuitively to you, believe me, you can read on, you can keep on reading books, you can keep on listening to various webinars, you can keep on participating in various discourses. That itself will give you a lot of such thought, lot of such intuition, which will enable you to find out what exactly is the right response at that moment of time. It comes by practice, believe me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Surely I
Being in the
will
company of
try to
good
implement
people,
that.
yeah, being in the company of good people, reading good books, listening to good thoughts, I think that itself will do the job for you.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Means for that, I would like to thank Vivek sir from past means two discussions. Yeah, it was a good platform. Today also, I was a bit late, but it was good to interact with you, sir. Thank you.
So, thank you.
So, Shrikant, are you ready for the next question?
Frankly, I don't have a question, but just appreciation that,
Okay.
intentions are good, thoughts are good, that everybody carries. But what, Manoj is doing is actually doing it in a small way or whatever. Small, big is doesn't matter over the time, but what he's doing, hats off.
Okay, great. So you have learned very fast that doing good to others is the best way to live life. So you started saying good for all of us.
Yes.
Vivek, just for
Okay,
your
wonderful.
information, me and Shrikant know each other for the last 25 or 30 years.
Yeah.
And
Okay,
Shrikant is himself a do-gamer, I would say. He has been doing good. He has been conducting various meditation classes and other things that I got to know recently,
Yes.
whereby he is
Okay.
already doing good for others. So he is spreading the
Right.
art of meditation for others, and he's doing such a noble job. I would say salute to you, Shrikant, and great things that you're doing. Really,
Thanks.
hats off to you.
Thank you, Shrikant, for joining us.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank
so
you
much
very
for
much.
this opportunity.
Yeah. So coming back to my last question to you. What would you suggest to the youngsters one precaution and one good advice?
See, I think in terms of precaution, I don't think there is something called precaution that I completely believe in. That's, of course, my personal thought. I mean, if you keep doing good and ensure that you keep doing helping others with a good heart, I mean, there may be people who probably might not utilize it in the right way or something. As long as you know that you are honest to yourself and you are doing good with a good heart, I think you need not worry about precaution. The only one thing which I would suggest everybody to remember, and which I try to do, that when you do good or when you are trying to help others, don't expect something in return, or don't do that good as a business, whereby, okay, I am doing good, so in turn, when I need help, he should also do good. No, I don't think that is good. Then that is not selfless, right? If you are trying to say that, okay, I have invested in bank the money and the bank is going to give me interest, that logic doesn't work good here. Believe me. You should not be doing good with that particular clear intention that, okay, I am doing good today. It is for the reason that in troubled times when I need help, and if I go to him or her, he should also come back and help me just because I have done good. No, I don't think that's a good idea. So be selfless in when you do good. That itself will do the job. And one small message, I would like to recall what Swami Vivekananda says. I'm a great, I would say, fan of him. The more we come out and do good to others, the more our hearts will be purified and God will be in them. Thank you.
That's the essence of, I think, essence of our discussion and sharing today. So with this, I would like to close the session for today's talks. At the same time, I see that we talked in length, understand the art of doing good, science of this process, how it impacts us, and actually we are not helping others, we are helping ourselves. And with this, so friends, if you are doing anything around you and don't expect in return, and when we are doing good to others or helping or caring or sharing or loving others, actually the bottom line is, or the essence is, we are doing it to ourselves. So keep doing good work, and I wish you, Manoj, for this wonderful job what you are doing and contribution around you. We will keep coming to our sessions. We would love to see you again and again. Thank you very much.
Sure. Thank you so
everyone.
much for this honor and opportunity, Vivek. Appreciate that.
Thank you, Manoj. Thank you. Have a great time.
Thank you.
Good day.
Everyone. Good day.